what advice would you give to those who want to start their own business but are too scared?
Don't. Well, you know, they say they want to, but they don't mean it. They say they want to. So they'll never start their business. I mean, I was one of them. I'll start it in the spring.
Yeah.
But what are you going to start? I don't know. What are you capable of? In my case, I'd got no money and I'd got no skills. Well, I thought I'd got no skills. I'd got no skills to go to somebody and prove that I had the skills, because I'd got bits of skill. So the thing, you have to have pain. We go back to this pain. If you hate what you're doing so much that it makes your stomach churn as you're going into work, because you hate that job, you hate the people, you hate what you're doing, and I used to. My stomach used to churn with anxiety to go into a job, and one of the things was because I got dyslexia, so I would get found out, and then people would say, well, you can't read, you can't read, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're spastic, and all that kind of stuff. So you'd got to go in and exchange your time for money to and have the humiliation, and you didn't want that, but what could you do?
Yeah.
So, but when that pain gets so great that when you're jumping forward and going into business, can it be any worse? So the people who want to go in and they're scared, their life is too easy.
Yeah.
Their want, their need, their goals, their ambitions is not enough. They need to up their game, because they need to make a list of what they want in life. Do they want? So they've got somebody who tells them when to get up, when to go to work, what to do, how much money they'll earn, and basically what time they'll go home, and what they can,
what they can wear. Yeah.
What they can wear. Yeah. Just going back to Kiddicare, we had 125 people, and the people, you'll see on my website. I'm just revamping my website, the guy who's helping me has been working for me 22 years. He's in the book. He came to rip up cardboard in 1998 and put it in a skip. Yeah. And he worked for Kiddicare for 20 years, and he's working with me still now.
Wow.
You've got to jump into something when there is enough for you to go. So you've got to have a want.
Yeah.
And if your want is not big enough, then you'll never jump.
Yeah.
You've got to have that gut wrenching feeling of there's a better life.
Yeah.
This is what I want. And you can easily write. You just get a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and say, this is what I hate in my life, and this is what I want in my life. And if people go, well, it's not too bad because I can go out for a drink on Friday night with the lads, I've got a little bit of money left over.
Yeah.
And well, no, what about a little bit of money? What about a lot of money?
Yeah.
What about having everything you want in life? Yeah. And people go, yeah, but that's impossible. No, it's not. It's not impossible. You can have everything, not anything, because anything is a one thing.
Yeah.
I want a Rolls Royce. Well, that's anything. That's any one thing. So people go, my ambition is to get a Rolls Royce. Well, okay. What about the rest?
Yeah.
Why not have 100 ambitions?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And that's all on the other side of fear, essentially.
It's fear.
Fear that holds people back. So I suppose one of the ways of building wealth, even whilst you're employed, is through property. So you bought your first property for 650 quid.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, many years back. Tell me a little bit about that, and then how you got involved in property.
Well, the thing is, we had a goal. We had 3 goals. 1, get married. 2, have children, and 3, have a house. So we didn't want to pay rent. So I'm not saying renting is not bad, because for different times, for different people, renting is good, because you don't have to put a load of money into one property. So, and we've done both. So we wanted a new house, like every girl, Marilyn would love a new house. That's super. So we're going to get a new house, easy. Yeah. Go to a place in Farset, they're building some chalet bungalows, £3,000. The guy said, you ain't got an effing chance with your amount of wages, not a chance. So, and they never took the girls' wages in those days, only the boys. So, not a chance, you're nowhere near it. So you should be looking at a house like £2,000 or £2,500, whatever it may be. So that flipped me, and I say in the book, I say on the first page, it says, warning, this book contains reverse psychology, so look out for it. So reverse psychology is, it's followed me everywhere in my life since being self-employed. So my reverse psychology then was, why should I go for something for 2,500, say, which I could just manage to get? Just. Because I'll have a mortgage for 25 years, and my ambition will be to pay my mortgage off and to have my house. Why not go right the way to the opposite end of the scale and go, let's get the cheapest house we possibly can. Let's buy it cash. Let's save up. So their goal was then to save as much money as possible and buy a house as cheap as possible, freehold. So we started looking at derelict houses. And there's a point, there's a tipping point of what you'll get and what you won't, because in those days there was lots of houses, lots of cheap houses, and there was one in Facet, another one. It was £450. But the problem was it had air conditioning in those days, and so we wouldn't go in. I mean, air conditioning in those days wasn't like air conditioning now in this house. It meant it hadn't got a roof. So therefore that was one step too far. So now we began to see what we wanted. So it wasn't the cheapest thing, because we hadn't got the skills to do it up and the money. So it was has it got a roof? Yes, it's got a roof. Is it watertight? Yes. Okay, there was no water in it, there was no electricity in it, there was no bathrooms or kitchens or anything. It was a 2 up, 2 down, and the toilet and the scullery was across the yard, and the water tap was outside. So we went for that house. It was ours. And so therefore we used that as our home, and we renovated it. Then what we did, we wanted a nicer house, maybe one with a garage space, maybe with a front garden, but we couldn't afford one. But what we could afford, because we could sell that house, we renovated it, and it was worth 2,100. But what we could do, we could go and buy another derelict one, but with a garden, a front garden, a place to put the car, and a semi-detached house instead of a terrace house. So therefore we could go back, and I do say in my book, you have to go back to go forwards. Well, look at a cricketer, somebody who throws a ball. I'm no good at throwing balls, but a cricketer, they go backwards to go forwards. A footballer who wants to take a penalty, he goes backwards before. A pole vaulter, anybody, a long jump, they all have to go back to go forwards. And if you don't be afraid to go backwards, because you go forwards at a much greater speed to a much bigger height, a much higher place.
Absolutely. So you mentioned in the book about you never used to offer on a property what you thought it was worth. You just offered literally what you could afford.
You never know. You see, why not? Why not go into a shop when they're just about to close the doors and say, you'll have to throw that cake away tomorrow, whatever, and it's £4, I'll give you 20 pence.
Yeah.
They'd probably say you won't, but I'll eat it myself. Maybe they'll say, well, I'll tell you what, you can have it 50.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, if you've got 50 pence, you may get a cake for £4. It depends. You've got to be you've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah.
And that's what I say all the time. You've got to be in that zone. You've got to be in that place.
Yeah, you've got to be there making the offers.
A lot of people will go, if I could get that deal that you got, I'd be in business.
Yeah.
If I could get that one deal that you've just done, I would start my own business. No, you wouldn't, because you've got to go through the pain.
Yeah.
You've got to go up that ladder.
In terms of morning routine, people with this at the moment get up at 5 a.m, get up early.
Yeah.
That seems to be the recipe for success.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Is that what you think?
No. If it works for people, then it works. I mean, I went to bed this morning at 2:30. Normally, I go to bed like before 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's the coffee machine switching off. So if Marilyn was here, I'd be saying, Marilyn, can you get another coffee? So, yeah, I go to bed before 4 o'clock because, especially in the summer, because the birds start singing at about 3:20, and then you can't get to sleep, so you might as well not go.
Yeah.
So it depends, you know, what you want, how you feel. When are you best at doing what you do?
Yeah.
I can go all day and literally I've got a job to do and I cannot focus on that job, and it might come to 6 o'clock and then I fall into that zone. I can have an hour or even 20 minutes of doing something. So different times of the day, different zones you're in, and if you want to get up at 5, there's no problem. I mean, my routine is having no routine.
Okay.
And I did buy John Lamberton's book Routine Machine, and I do recommend it.
Yeah.
But I have tried it and it worked, but then I get out of sync. And my body clock is, did they call it rhythm, or I don't know what they call it. Anyway, so my body clock, I follow it. So I get up when I want to get up, and I go to bed when I want to go to bed. And so this morning I got up at about 8:30, and then my routine is coffee, more coffee, and then I go to the gym. But the problem is here, I mean, we've got an office in Stamford, but here I've got a small office, and I have to go through it to get to the gym. I'm so excited every day to look at my emails, to see what work we've done on different projects, and I sit down with my coffee at my desk and I end up going through. Now that could take an hour, 2 hours, and then I'll go to the gym. But sometimes I knew you was coming, so I only looked at a couple of emails and then went into the gym.
What did you do at the gym today?
Well, I did 100 crunches and 100 weights and a little bit of cycling and food squats, and then I went into the sauna and I listened to some motivational stuff.
Okay.
I love motivational stuff.
Podcasts, audiobooks?
Anything that's about, you know, I tend to look at odd stuff. And I want to read about everything and anything.
Yeah.
Something different every day. But Arnold Schwarzenegger is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Arnold, I listened to him this morning. Great. You know, I think it's great. You know, makes you feel good.
Yeah. Very motivational.
Yeah. And I go, what? You know, why can't I be like him? But you know, 22. It's just a bicep. He was talking about 22-inch biceps.
That's the size of people's heads.
Hey. Yeah. No, Marilyn wouldn't like that. So, There we are, so that's my routine.
Yeah.
And when I was 20 years ago, you said I remember the question now, 20 years ago, what's different? Well, I used to go in, open the shop.
So did you used to open pretty much every day?
Every day, 8:30, wash the floor outside, wash the windows, wash the gutter. If it was on the street, always wash the windows. I mean, people, they come in the back of their shop, they turn the sign round from closed to open, and they never walk outside across the road to have a look what their customers see. They don't see the dog shit on the pavement, they don't see the sick, they don't see the litter. No, you have to go out to see what the customer sees. You have to go down the street to see if there's any graffiti that you should clean off the graffiti down the street, and people go, but that's not your job. Oh wow, do you want your customers to be walking by graffiti, to walking by dog shit and the sick and the litter in the gutter? No, you start with what your customer sees. Because if they don't see it, they don't think about it, because they're focused on your shop.
Exactly that. So it should make it the best experience possible.
Every day you walk by shops and you go, where is the manager? Why hasn't he been outside and presented? Why is he presenting his stock on his shelf? Why is he wasting his time? He's got to present the outside before he presents the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose that's really powerful. A lot of people just completely ignore that,
So that was my routine. But another thing was, because we was in property as well, I used to go down a different street, a different way to work every day. I was looking for sale boards in those days. I was looking for different things. What's going on? Is there a house that's closed down? Is the garden getting overgrown? Why? Is there for sale board? Is there what's happening?
So if you saw a house that was kind of looked a bit overgrown, would you just go knock on the door to see what's going on?
You've got to be
Yeah.
Anything. So you've got to get to work as well.
Yeah.
So you get to work, you do your work, and then you go back.
Okay. What is the biggest issue that new entrepreneurs tend to overlook when setting up a business?
Startups, because from 2011 when we finished with Kiddicare, and I got a shed load of money, and I thought, everybody's the same. Everybody will be as enthusiastic as me and want to build the business like I wanted to build businesses. So what they tend to do, they tend to say, this is the idea I've got, and it's going to take 5 years, and then we're going to sell the business for billions of pounds.
Yeah.
Because they've seen one or two people do it. So it is possible, but very rare. Out of say a million businesses, you might get one that's
it's going to be
the headlight.
Next Apple, the next Microsoft.
Yeah, so they overestimate their time in, in other words, they're saying this will be a cracking business, what we were selling 5 years, when actually the truth is 10 or 12 years or 14 years, not 5. So they're pulling the wool over their own eyes.
Yeah.
The other thing is they don't realise what they've got to put into it. And one of the worst things has happened in the last few years is they've gone out to the market for money, and they've got money free. So if they've got $1 million or a few million and it's free to them, unfortunately they start to go to places like there used to be a Dallas pram show. I never went there, but if I'd got a few £1 million from people that had put it into my business, I would have gone there. Yeah. Because I would have had a couple of days in Dallas, and I wouldn't have turned right on the plane. I'd have turned left into first class. And this is what happens, and this is and it gets hold of people. We'll meet at the champagne bar. Yeah. We'll turn left. We'll have first class. We'll go to this place, and then you leave in your business. And when you leave a business is like having a snowstorm on your desk. We used to have a snowstorm on our desk. One of these. What you have,
the little
kids,
things,
little snowman, or Christmas scene or whatever, and you pick these up and you shake them and you put it on your desk, and all the snow comes down. And we used to say that's business. So you used to shake that up, and that snow was the business. It was active.
Yeah.
And by the time you left it on your desk and you got in your car, snow was coming down. And when you got to the airport, it was on the floor.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you're not in your business, shaking it up all the time, it's dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you haven't taught your managers or your sub-managers and things like that all the way, if you haven't got a system that drives that business, it's dead.
It's dead. Yeah. I suppose that.
So a lot of the people, they forget about this. They forget about why they've gone into business. Where's their goals? Where's their ambition? They've got some, but then what happens is they keep repeating they keep repeating what they're doing over and over again and getting nowhere.
Yeah.
So therefore, are they going forwards or are they going backwards in their business? I say every day, a business, if you go in at 8 o'clock in the morning, you come out at 8 o'clock at night, your business should have changed a little bit. Because if your business hasn't changed a little bit, a competitor of yours has changed and it's took a bit of your business from you and you don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
And one day you'll go, well, it was a good business when it started, but I just don't know what happened. And I don't know how come the person down the road is thriving and they took all my staff.
Yeah.
You go, no, because you didn't shake it up. You didn't concentrate. You didn't.
Just a 1% better kind of each day principle.
Well, 1% is a lot. yeah. Even a tiny fraction, you've got to, you've got to keep moving.
Just keep moving forward.
Yeah. Are you buying your business or are you selling it?
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. There's another question a bit further on, I believe, about I'll go on to that.
Yeah, about selling. Suppose even on that again. So, would you say that people get into business for the wrong reasons? I know you mentioned that to be good at business, you've got to be passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah, a lot of people go, I want to be a millionaire, and so they go into business probably for that reason, and or they've not thought about it, and they're not following. They're going down a route that they think makes money.
Yeah.
They're not going down a route for a reason other than money. And there's got to be other reasons.
Yeah.
Why did we get into property? We wanted a roof over our head. I didn't want to pay rent. I wanted my own property. That was a good reason. And then you could start to leverage what you've been able to do, renovate your house, leverage that into something else. You can leverage, anything you can.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a reason, and money is not a good enough reason.
No. So you do need to kind of have something that you know about. You want to be the biggest, you want to be the best, you want to change the world.
Even if you don't know, I knew nothing about the pram business.
Yeah.
Nothing. I knew I'd bought a second-hand pram and a second-hand cot for our baby. But we'd only got £300, and what could you fill a shop with? What could you fill 4 rooms of a house with?
Yeah.
For £300? Well, I didn't know anything. I knew you needed something big and cheap.
Prams.
Yeah, and something easy to sell.
Yeah.
So to us, it was like,